Have you ever just stared at a blank page, totally overwhelmed by an academic paper? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, today we are going to demystify this whole process. We're going to build your ultimate academic writing survival kit. So let me start with a really direct question. You have an assignment, you find the perfect answer online, and you just copy and paste it. Is that academic writing? The short answer is a definite no. And, understanding why that's a no is really the first big step to mastering this whole thing. Let's talk about the huge shift in how you need to write now. Back in school, you might have written something like, I think social media is bad. That's totally fine, it's your opinion. But in academic writing, it's all about the evidence. Instead, you'd write something like, studies show excessive social media use affects sleep quality. And then, this is the key part, you back it up with a source like Smith, 2022. See the difference? You're going from just having an opinion to building an actual argument based on facts. A lot of people have this idea that good academic writers are just born that way, that it's some kind of secret club you're either in or you're out of. But honestly, that's a total myth. The truth is, it's a skill. Just like anything else, it has rules and structures, and absolutely anyone can learn them. So, to prove that it's a skill you can learn, that's what we're going to do today. We are going to build your academic survival kit, and we're going to pack it with 3 super essential, practical tools you can start using right away to feel way more confident in your writing. Okay, tool number 1 for our kit, finding sources you can actually trust. You can't build a strong argument on a shaky foundation, right? And that's where this simple but really powerful ABC rule comes into play. So here's how it works. A is for author. Who actually wrote this thing? Are they an expert in the field? B is for background. Where is it from? Is it from a university journal or is it some random person's website? And C is for currency. How old is this information? Is it from last year or are we talking 1985? Answering these 3 questions will help you vet any source in under a minute. Let's make this super practical. An article from Google Scholar or your school's library database? Green light. That's a definite yes. What about Wikipedia? Well, it's a good place to start, to get some background info, but you should never cite it as a main source. And a random blog post you found? That's a hard stop. Just don't do it. And here's the golden rule. If you are ever in doubt, just ask yourself this one question. Would my lecturer trust this source? If the answer is no, or even maybe, just don't use it. It is that simple. Okay, let's grab our second tool for the kit. You found a great source. Awesome. Now, how do you actually use the ideas from it in your own work without getting in trouble? This brings us to the art of paraphrasing. Now, before we can learn to paraphrase the right way, we need to be crystal clear on what we're trying to avoid. Plagiarism. In plain English, it's just using someone else's work, their words, or even just their cool ideas, and acting like it's your own because you didn't give them credit. All right, let's look at a real example. Here's our original text from an expert named Smith. It basically says that using too much social media is bad for the sleep quality of teenagers. Pretty straightforward. Now look at this version. All the writer did was swap a few words around, right? Excessive became too much, impact became effect. This is what we call a bad paraphrase. The sentence structure is basically the same, the main words are too close to the original, and yeah, even with the citation, this is still considered plagiarism. But now, check this one out. See the difference? It's huge. The whole sentence structure is new. The writer introduces the author right at the beginning and then explains the same idea using their own words. This is the goal. You want to represent the idea, not just replace a few words. So how do you get there? It's a 4-step process. First, read the original sentence until you really, truly understand it. Second, and this is the most critical part, close the source. Put it away. Don't look at it. This stops you from accidentally copying it. Third, just write down the idea in your own words, like you're explaining it to a friend. And fourth, now you can go back, open the source again, and add that citation. That's it. And that brings us perfectly to our third and final tool for the survival kit, your referencing toolkit. This is the part that so many people get tripped up on, but you know what? It really doesn't have to be that hard. Here's the big secret. The goal is not to memorize every single comma and period rule for APA style or whatever format you're using. No way. The smart, modern way to do it is to master the tools that do all that heavy lifting for you. So here are some of the best free options out there. MyBib is just fantastic for being easy and accurate. Scribr is amazing if you're just starting out because it actually explains the APA rules as you go. And Google Scholar has a handy little cite button that's perfect for quickly grabbing a reference for an academic article. Just, always give it a quick double check to make sure the formatting looks right. All right, so our survival kit is officially packed. Before we finish up, let's just go over the 3 most important tips that will make sure you don't just survive, but you actually succeed with your academic writing. Number 1, never, ever, ever submit an assignment without a reference list. It is the absolute foundation of academic honesty. 2, use a tool like MyBib or Scribr. Don't just guess the format. Let the technology help you. And 3, this might be the most important one, when in doubt, just ask. Your lecturer, a librarian, they are literally there to help you succeed. And I want to leave you with this last thought. Getting good at academic writing isn't about being smart. It's not an intelligence test. Really, it's just about showing that you can be honest with your sources and organized in your arguments. And if you can do that, you are already well on your way.